Hi, today I'm going to continue on with Charlie Kirk's passing, some of the issues that we're facing. I had wanted to do, I'll do that next, this Jimmy Kimmel firing, because that gets into freedom of speech. But I had prepared this. This starts getting into the different actors that are propelling the violence and how their rhetoric is inflaming and exactly what Charlie Kirk would not want. And one of them is Megan Kelly. That's who I'm going to go into. And Tucker Carlson, I mean, I still haven't heard back from him about an issue he had brought up or something that he had said at a Turning Point conference. It was after the Epstein file scandal came out that they were going to release it. And someone had asked whether he believed in that people should have dual nationality. And he said no. So I sent him an email. I said, could you please clarify this? Because I don't think that you understand the ramifications of what you're saying. Um, I mean, Melania Trump is a foreigner. I have dual nationality. My kids have three nationalities, and we've been denied our rights as citizens under those three. I American French, and my kids American French and Spanish, and that's what I've been fighting for 18 years, and nobody, none of these, the mainstream media. I've been on the committee to try and get the mainstream media to cover the problems in family courts, which it was 2002, I believe it was, the Boston Globe came out with the cover-up of pedophilia and sexual abuse by the Catholic Church with priests. We all know, all of us in the family court reform movement, we all know about Lord Mountbatten. I mean, a friend of my mother said, "Oh, this has been going on for so long, there's nothing we can do about it." I think she was talking about something else, but we don't talk about these things. We don't talk about, this is still 1930. This is why we are at fascism. And people throw that word around like there's no tomorrow. And yes, the right and the left, you are fascists. Get it into your head. And Megyn Kelly, you're a fascist. You won't listen to anybody else. And Tucker Carlson, I mean, the podcasters, they're no better than all of these celebrity journalists in mainstream media who now continually get fired. This is becoming of epidemic proportions with these guys, so maybe we'll get some action. Let's see, there's Colbert, Kimmel, and I believe somebody else. I think I saw it. Anyway, so, well, this, the one of the things that I love about Charlie Kirk and Turning Point is first questioning and confronting the feminists, or at least their rhetoric. I've been doing that and trying to do that in Washington all by my little lonesome and being shut up, stupid, shut up, stupid. Like I'm the most. I can barely keep a roof over my head, and they have me as a cashier in this Spanish restaurant. I mean, I'm fluent in French, I'm fluent in Spanish. I know more about Spanish cuisine. I mean, these guys are Spanish, and I know just as much as more about it than they do. And I'm a better cook because I do with my heart. I even have an article that I wrote years and years and years ago. What's the 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 trick, the secret to good cooking? And I said, well, lots of garlic and onions and lots of heart. And our garlic and onions good for your heart. So, yeah, we need to. It's another thing. If everybody would stop with this bullshit, then we could start with the real problems. One of which is the health of everybody. Poor Bobby. This is where I go off on all of the Kennedys and all of the Kennedy ladies. Kennedy mean girls. This is what I did last time. Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah, you can listen to that, but he's right. But he needs to kick some butt. I mean, the funny thing is, Matt Dowd, who got fired from MSNBC for obvious, I don't know if he doesn't know Charlie or just, but even he said on his Twitter, he was like, I didn't mean anything offensive. This is again, I know Charlie would defend him under freedom of speech. Has nothing to do with these people who are celebrating. That's a whole other bag of worms. And if people can't separate that, they need to have their head examined. So today, I'm going to try and keep this short, so I have to finish up before 10:30. Um, so today I want to go into two really of the actors. Tucker Carlson. I mean, Tucker Carlson, I even saw him hosting Charlie Kirk's podcast. Was it this morning or yesterday? So, and Megyn Kelly hosted the first one. But, like, get beyond the optics, people. Because Tucker Carlson, as I said, I'm still waiting to hear back on what's his position on dual nationality stuff, because that's opening up a whole can of worms. I am the first to be hauling people by their nose in front of their mother. If it's a moral issue, I want to see your mother and have a talk with her. If it's a legal issue, we're going to see you in court. I mean, listen up, Mix. I don't want to send you to prison like everybody else for anything and everything. This has got to stop. And so the within the feminist, because as I said, I just loved how Charlie Kirk was confronting them about their ideologies and their actions. On the abortion issue, one of the most ludicrous things is people saying, "Oh, I wish I could go and have abortion." I mean, these girls are really, really, really out of control. I have two sons. I'm terrified that some of these girls, because this is global, this is going on everywhere. A young Spanish girl here, I was like, God. I left Spain 18 years ago, so things have gone downhill. I know I can't say, but the progressives would say it has progressed. But I was just like, God, don't ever let any of these vipers get their hands or their hooks into my sons and grandchildren. Yes, I want grandchildren. Not some of these women that are out there. I mean, this is what everybody has to think about. So with Tucker Carlson, the thing is, see, I mean, one of the reasons I have no labor rights and no rights in DC, housing, labor, or just as a citizen, reclaiming my rights and my rights of my children who are in Spain from my government, and the State Department is the one who, that comes under their purview. But as I was listening to Megyn Kelly and Steve Bannon and who else, everybody that I'm listening, nothing's changed. I'm like, no, nothing's changed. And if Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Turning Point, everybody really, really wants, we got to get beyond the rhetoric. Yes, we need to, everything that Charlie was saying, we need to challenge these feminists in court and with jurisprudences. That's what they're playing. That's what the Me Too people played. And with the pedophile stuff, oh, I love this. Here, listen to. I mean, I put some things that I agree with.
Why does one have something scrubbed from the internet? Because it's such a colossal piece of self-inflicted damage that it's got to go. But we here at the Nerve, we're archaeologists over here. We're cultural effing archaeologists. Whoopi defending Roman Polanski, who drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl at Jack Nicholson's house. She was 12 or 13, excuse me. Let's go.
Was not charged. I know it wasn't rape.
Yeah,
there is a
statutory
child
rape.
I think it was something. It was something else, but I don't believe it was rape. And when we get all the information, somebody will tell me in my ear. All I'm trying to get you to understand
She's a real
is
thinker.
when we're talking about what someone did and what they were charged with, we have to say what it actually was, not what we think it was.
Rape, by the way, has entered the lexicon thanks to Whoopi Goldberg. And by the way, I read that the interview of the victim, the contemporaneous interview when she was 12. Why does one have?
I mean, as I say, I'm going to put some things in there that I actually agree with Maureen Callahan, because Maureen and Megyn Kelly, I could just go into any of the expat wives clubs or any country club and listen to these little cackling hens. When those two get together, I'm like, It reminds me of shit that I've seen too many times. And I mean, the cattiness and this, because this is one of the reasons why I've really always gotten along with men better than women, because women, they go in a pack. They always have to be in a pack, and they gang up. I mean, it comes from also them being the weaker sex physically, so they've had to develop skills mentally. Sometimes this is not the most intelligent of skills, but they are effective sometimes. So this with Tucker Carlson and his
What's better than that?
We've been celebrating Mother's Day all morning with the special moms in our lives.
And now it's my turn. He's so flummoxed. Making her debut on the curvy couch is Tucker's wife, Susie Carlson.
Hey.
Look how flummoxed he is. I don't ever see him.
Look at them holding hands. They keep
Oh, God. She's grabbing. I always say, you know what? It's too much. Just I need some space. Just you're always on me, always touching me, pulling at my clothes. So you've just given us some insight into what it's like to be at the Carlson house. What is Tucker like at home, Susie?
I wouldn't even know what to say, Clayton. Can you be more specific with questions? He's always cheery. He's always
cheery.
Oh, absolutely.
It's been 30 years this year, so I think it's hard for both of us to. We've been together for 30 years, so it's a little bit hard to imagine like what it's not like. I mean, you sort of.
How about this? How did you guys meet? I mean, is it true you've been together since you're like 15 or something
15.
crazy?
Yeah.
Met the first week of 10th grade.
You have a huge family here. Who are we seeing here on the screen?
We see Lily. Well, Hopi, Lily,
Okay,
Dorothy,
so I won't
Tucker,
play all
me.
of that. But what offends me with Tucker Carlson is that the treatment that I am getting is the sacrificial lamb for his wife, Susan. Now, if Susan was in my position, I've talked about this before, you know, the lack of support I've gotten from women. Oh, let's not even get into Foxcroft. I mean, that's an old girls' school, and Cobham in England. You know, this is where the cancel culture has come from. But the lack of support, I mean, and the young women, I mean, all of the turning point young women who want children, want a family, sometimes shit happens. I mean, look what's happened to Charlie Kirk, and now his wife is a widow. I mean, she's going to be the CEO of Turning Point, which I think is a good decision, and thank God. You know, she'll have an income. And Tucker Carlson. Oh, we donated money. His wife and him. Yeah, let's see if they ever got into a divorce. How he would think of those as common property assets. Because that's, you know, this whole idea, it's my money, I earned it, you know, the paycheck. I keep on telling them, you guys, you want to play that game? Well, then we are going to reclaim, you're going to have to pay your wife for all of the services she's done for 10, 20 years, and then you're going to be in the red. Believe me, you're going to owe her much more money than you want to hide. So stop playing that game. This gets into, you know, of course, property rights, those are human rights. Those are the rights that are important. And this is, they go out there and crap all over the place about women's rights, women's rights, women's rights, women's rights. And they're completely eroding women's real rights. Where are you going to find your rights? Where are rights upheld or violated in a court of law or in a court of public opinion? Sorry, I'm out on the street. Down at International Square, just next door to the White House, my alma mater, GW. Oh, please, Turning Point, would you all please start a chapter here in DC, and let's go after GW, Georgetown, well, Maryland, that's across, but across the border, but still it's in the area, all of these, and let's go after the prep schools. This is another thing with Tucker Carlson, and I've already played that when St. George's, he was canceled from speaking at St. George's, and he got all upset and bent out of shape, posted a video about it, but what did he do about it? No, that's their right. No, that's not their right. Don Lemon, I was listening to him with Pierce Morgan saying, well, if a private company wants to fire you for whatever reason, they can. I'm sick and tired of hearing that one. That's bullshit. You have to have a reason to fire you. This is totally everything that everybody is doing is eroding the rights of citizens right and left, and then they get out there with these goddamn propaganda campaigns of how they're defending everybody's rights. Bullshit. So this is what really offends me with, the what I've been told, like from my brother, and this is the typical, the prep school, Ivy League, this is the problem I've had with Trump from the beginning. Same can of worms with Tucker Carlson. These guys, this is the managerial epidemic that James Burnham talked about back in 1941 in this town, which has gone from 1 million to 6.34 million today, and we need to drain the swamp. Now get to it. Why are Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, all of the other podcasters that are like a bunch of cackling hands at a country club complaining? I've submitted, first it was with Ed Martin. I have all sorts of lawsuits, 2 against the IMF and the HR department. Lord, let us go after that and attack all the bullshit they're pulling over there. That gets us into the World Bank. I'm up the wazoozy there as well. David Malpass, he got a letter from me, and I know he received it because I hand-delivered it to him at his house. He lives right in front of the French embassy residence. Go figure. And I mean, it's a couple blocks from where I live. I live on the poor side of town. It's kind of like West Palm Beach and East Palm Beach. Callahan, this is where Obama lives. Probably the most expensive property in Washington, definitely in the district. And so it's very exclusive. So I know he got it because I hand delivered it to him. And I think he saw me one time coming through here, and I think he recognized me. This is where the Met is. And this is precisely why I want to work here, because I give my elevator speech. See, I can talk fast when I have to. My elevator speech about, you gotta look at, I always send him to Richard Werner. Check that out with Carlson. Anyway, I digress. But, these dumb bimbo blondes that these men, why? I mean, my sisters told me for years and years, you can't believe the idiot that my brother was with. And I mean, I lived abroad for 20 years. I hadn't met her, but I had heard. And then when I finally met her, I was like, oh my God, you're right. But I was also like, well, of course. I mean, this is like Maureen and Megyn Kelly having a conversation. We can't understand why. Like, look in the mirror, surrounded my mother and my 2 sisters. That's enough to turn any man off women for life. I mean, and they're just vicious, particularly my younger sister. I mean, if I understand a lot of the dynamics, on the ground rather than just the academic stuff, and how the academic stuff translates into, actual actions and words and, interpersonal relationships is because of my family. When I went to boarding school, both Foxcroft and Cottle, I'm like, particularly Foxcroft, I like, thank you, Lord. Everybody's family is as crazy as fine. I'm normal. But this is not normal. It is not. That is what really Tucker Carlson says is the economics that, really got Charlie killed. And I do believe that because he was starting to wake up to a lot of that. I really wish I had been able to talk to him before he was killed. Yeah, because I know I would have just good people. He reminds me of my father. Really good. See, that's another reason why I will not bow down to the feminists and their rhetoric of men bad, women good. And, Maureen Callahan, I mean, her book about Ask Not, about the Kennedys, how the Kennedy men destroyed the women, something like that. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? It's the inverse. Oh, I mean, Ethel. Ooh, Ethel and my mother, peas in a pod. So, there's over here, Marianne Sieghart. That's another, Megyn Kelly over in the UK. I mean, my favorite with her is her book, The Authority Gap, Why Women Are Not Taken Seriously and What We Can Do About It. I'm like, well, behave a little, more seriously and you'll be taken seriously. I mean, Megyn Kelly, this is one of the things when she, in her response to Bombshell, the movie that was made about the Roger Ailes case and the Me Too attack on Roger Ailes. I mean, she's like, oh, well, anyone would service their boss because they wanted to be on TV. I'm like, are you kidding me? I won't even, to get a minimum wage job, I'm not even going to do that. I mean, my favorite of all times is a restaurant I was working just close by here, Clary Taberna. I mean, got one pedophile as a manager, and then the other who sleeps with the boss. Well, she replaced Rita. Rita was Greek as well. Well, this is the story with Rita. This was too funny I was just like, these are moments in my life where I go, God, you have a sense of humor. So Juan Williams, journalist Juan Williams, he had just come out with his book about founding fathers or something. This is the great success story of the Democrats with the founding fathers. I mean, bullshit. But so he comes into the restaurant. I didn't know who he was. And he's sitting in front of me because Rita's like, don't you know who he was? You should have put him at 75 or 76. I'm like, no, I have no idea who he is. And she told me. So he's sitting like in 70, well, kind of right in front of me. So he keeps on calling me over and chatting me up. And I find out, because Rita tells me, so I Google him. I'm like, oh, founding father. So I'm like, oh, and I've been doing research on John Dickinson, the founding father, John Dickinson, and Men of the Revolution. I'm trying to talk to him about that. And he wants to know if the ring on my left-hand finger is a wedding band. I'm like, and then of course I see he's married. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't think, Delise, she is the whitest black woman in all of Washington. I mean, come on, you people, stop this bullshit. I mean, I get fired because I asked some girl, when she tells me she's American Indian heritage, I said, oh, what tribe? Because I'm interested. And that was being racial. I was floored. Oh, and then the black group that got me fired from, like, what is that? Casa, the DuPont Circle Mexican restaurant by Need. I work for Need as well at Succotash. I mean, the labor rights violations are out of control. Nobody will do anything about it. So I do have submitted with Janine Pirro, the Attorney General. Let's get busy. Let's drain the swamp. With all of these 18 years I've been back, 17. But ever since I've been back, landlords and employers and some co-workers and sent a very, very hard message. Also, all of these immigrants in this town, that Washington was built to serve the American people. It was not built so a bunch of Americans and foreigners could come here and party hardy in a thriving hospitality industry. I mean, when I saw after the 2008, and they're still building the casino, the convention center downtown. Oh, and the whole Kimmel thing, that really, if you look at that, that was because Kimmel points out that Trump reaction when he's asked, well, how are you dealing with Charlie Kirk's death? He changes the subject on how wonderful. He's like, oh, fine. Here, look at how they're building some ballroom they're going to build. Now, I do want to point out with that, with Trump did, his mother was ill when he was young and he was separated, so he didn't, and his father was cold and distant and abusive. Mary Trump will talk about this, but that woman, she's just pissed off that she got shafted with the inheritance. But she does make she's a psychologist, but she does make a good, those are the craziest ones. She does make a lot of good points about Trump and his, childhood and how it affected him. So he does not really know how to deal with loss. So a little bit of a free pass on maybe how he's dealing and not just jump to the conclusion that he's being a, cold son of a bitch. So as I say, I try really do. Whenever I get pissed off and Megyn Kelly, she jumps onto that. And I can't say that I don't react that way quite often, in fact, too often, and I try not to. And that's why I think my dad and how, Charlie Kirk is how would he want us to deal with this and respond to this? And he would not approve. That's what I'm going to do next with Jimmy Kimmel, because he would not approve of the censorship that's going on in his name, nor the way that and Megyn Kelly, I've seen a lot of it coming from her, of how she's inciting violence and it's pushing, radicalizing the right. And it's not what he would want at all. And it's not where this country has to go. And she wants to talk about dangerous extremists. Well, let's have a little conversation. I know I have no followers. I have been canceled by everybody. And the reason I don't have a book published is, well, I guess my war with the feminists and the anti-feminists and the socialites is ongoing. So I guess we're still, maybe I could write a couple volumes on that one. But the reason is my favorite is Tony Lyons. I haven't been able to find a publisher. Tony Lyons of Skyhorse Publishing in New York. This is Bobby Kennedy's. He's the fundraiser for Bobby Kennedy with the PAC. And like, I'm gonna help Bobby get into the White House. That's, I still think, I'm not saying Trump was voted in, he's got to serve out his term, but this is the last term. And, you do need to start thinking of the future. And also, I think that's another reason Charlie Kirk was taken out. He's a danger. See, this is also Megyn Kelly doesn't want any light going on, and you'll hear this in her rhetoric all the time, being shined on that this would have come from the right and within Trump's camp. I'm not going to say that Trump would even be knowledgeable about this, but definitely from the alt-right, because of course, I mean, this is, ask any assassin out there This is assassination 101. You are going to try and make it look like in this case, it's a right wing or a conservative. You're going to try and make it look like the left radicals were the one who pulled it off. That's why it's so questioning, and important to question exactly what happened there. Who is this guy? Was anybody else involved? I mean, I was just watching Candace Owens about a camera that had been behind Charlie. She says, okay, first, what was important to see with that was she saw no blood. So there was no like bullet wound that exited from his back. And they're saying that he fell over on the side and not backwards. So the shot came from the side, not from the front, as they're saying. So there's the camera before him. I mean, I'm shocked. I was like, wait a second. First, why is this is a crime scene? Somebody was just assassinated. This is a crime scene. Wouldn't the police have all of that buried or off, particularly where he was sitting? The guy, one of the guys from Turning Point, he pulls the chair where Charlie Kirk was sitting. I mean, you can say, well, so what? He was sitting in a chair. Well, this is going to be indications of where there would be maybe gunpowder, or I'm not a forensic investigator, but I have watched enough TV and crime shows to know CSI. I mean, they got great, all of their IT stuff. I always thought that was really, really great. And now you're going to have that, with all of the tape and police, and you're not going to have anybody in there. So he takes down the camera and he pulls out the little thing that they have in there. I forget what it's called, USB or whatever. Not USB, but the thing, which maybe is normal, maybe not. I don't know, because then Candace Owens says, well, that she spoke with him. She know who it was, and she was speaking with him. So maybe we'll get that footage or not. But the point being, and also I was like, oh, well, maybe it's a good thing that the cops didn't get that camera and that evidence, because it probably would have disappeared. This way, if it is within the hands of a Turning Point, then it's not going to disappear. And it's important that evidence is kept. And really, I really am very supportive of Candace Owens, pushing on this, investigating this, and saying we're not going to let anything, this is not going to be another JFK, RFK assassination with the Kennedy lady sitting by going, oh, okay, now Jackie, oh, where am I going to find myself a meal ticket husband? And Ethel starting a fraudulent nonprofit so she can keep money coming in to pay for all of her parties at Hickory Hill. That's what happened. And Coretta with the Martin Luther King, well, she just jumped on board with the feminists. And oh my Lord, if a white feminist is cause for concern, the African American feminist, see, Candace, this is where I need your help. And where, this has to be about ideologies and rhetoric, and stop being about, race, because they will, ooh, Lord, Lord. They already do attack me. Oh, I remember right after Trump won the second time. Was it the second? Is it the second? I think. I forget. Maybe I'm thinking it's the third. Anyway, the Safeway that I go to in Adams Morgan, it was just all Black African American women. And I think that they finally, one or two of the men they had in there, I think finally they realized, oh my God, this got gotten out of control, and they broke that up. And you go to the post office in Washington, you talk about Hitler and all of that crap. Just go in there and see you could do a sitcom out of that shit. I mean, where is it? Cheryl Hines. I mean, Cheryl Hines. He's got a freaking actress, and what does she do? No, she doesn't support Bobby. So anyway, I'm gonna have to finish this up, but so I want Tucker Carlson and his wife, instead of giving money to Erica, do something. Tucker Carlson, your school, no, we got to go into the prep schools. This is my problem with Tiffany Justice and Moms for Liberty. Another group doesn't answer any of my emails. I've even tried to call. I've left, voicemails for Tiffany Justice. And the other women, there were two other women, one dropped out who started that. I mean, when you see that, you're like, oh, great, so there's infighting. Two of the organizations here I want to see in court: National Organization of Women, Feminist Majority Foundation. When I started my research into the feminist movement, and I saw, okay, now that was started by Betty Friedan, Eleanor Schmiels, and another bunch of people back, I forget if it was 60s, I think it was 70s. And then Eleanor Schmiel, like 10, 15 years later, starts the Feminist Majority Foundation by herself. I'm like, oh, there's been some infighting there amongst the board. And now, who was it? Terry O'Neill, I think, was the 2015, I agreed with a woman at a cocktail party for the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. If I want something to drink or something to eat, I can buy it myself. At least until they get homeless, which I have been threatened I don't know how many times. See, I am sick and tired of like Tucker Carlson and Susan. They go to prep schools. This is my whole thing. These stupid trophy wives who are sitting. I mean, okay, they have out in the woods or whatever. They got maybe not a ranch, but what you call a log cabin out in the woods and have retired. Tucker Carlson's right. I mean, Washington is a horrible place to live. That's why I left in the 80s. But also, look at my LinkedIn profile. I'm a cave dweller. And I'm not going to be run out of town. I mean, that's a patriot, no. I'm going to stand my ground and shoot little bitches. So, both Tucker Carlson and Susan. I mean, if Susan were ever in my shoes. Now, she was a school teacher, I heard. On one of I think I have that the link there. She was a school teacher. So where is she on the schools? And during her father, because her father was the headmaster of St. George's, there was some sexual abuse of the students, between students, teachers. I'm not sure. I forget, it's on the Wikipedia page. So now her father apparently he wasn't involved and apparently didn't know about it, but that was covered up. She should be out there going, "Ooh, I'm going to be on top of this." No. She's too busy holding her husband's hand. I mean, this woman, and it is the typical dumb bimbo trophy wife, which I'm paying the price for, because everybody says, "Oh, you're just a stupid dumb bimbo trophy wife who can't even be a cashier." I mean, I can't imagine the crap that I've gotten from all of these kids. I mean, I told this girl the other day, I said, you know what, I'm 40 years older than you, and I'm sick and tired of your shit. And, I mean, Susan would have jumped off the bridge long time ago, just like Mary she hung herself. Mary Richardson or Susan Barlash. That was Alan Dershowitz' first wife. Now, Alan Dershowitz, he's ignored me. I mean, he's got all of this cancel culture, and his publisher is Tony Lyons with Skyhorse Publishing. So, Tony Lyons, I'll publish stuff that nobody else will touch. Well, the feminists know. New York is owned by Wall Street and this is where the Jewish, the Israeli connection comes in. And this is, how shall I say it? This is not being racist against the Jews, but the Jews in Wall Street are just as bad as the WASPs in Wall Street. And they shouldn't be given a free pass just because they're Jewish. I mean, my favorite when I went to GW, first off, my mother, Georgetown, I didn't get into the School of Foreign Service. I didn't go there. And that was, I was like, oh, well, that's a repeat of Foxcroft with all the preps, like Tucker Carlson. So I got to GW and I said to somebody, I said, you guys keep on talking about Japs. I don't see any Japs, or I don't see any Japanese around here. What are you talking about? My friend, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Jewish. He fell off his chair laughing, going, Jewish American princess or prince. Not Japanese. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a Jewish version of the WASPs and the preppies and the yuppies and the whole can of worms with this snorting cocaine and Cornelia Guest with her debutante parties and the whole bullshit of the 80s, which we are still paying the price for. Today, this is what has got to stop. And don't tell me, Tucker Carlson and Susan, you don't know what I'm talking about. Now, I don't know what Susan was doing, because Tucker Carlson says he was snorting cocaine all over the place and partying. So I don't know. I find it hard to see Susan like being a Cornelia Guest, and also if you're into all of that, you're pretty much sleeping around. See, this is the paradigm that Megyn Kelly, because it is the New York, the Capote Swans, we made New York the center of the world, yes. And that's where the real battle lies in terms of social institutions. So I'm gonna finish now these, let's see what could do here. Let's do one for Maureen.
And in fact, Ben Bradley, who was then at the Washington Post, considered himself one of JFK's best friends. And, he would always be up in the White House residence with his wife, having dinner and drinks. And Jack would be hitting on Ben's wife when he wasn't having an affair with Ben's wife's sister, who wound up shot in broad daylight in D.C. Go figure.
And what did Ben Bradley do with those? What did Ben Bradley do? He helped. He helped get rid of the documents.
So the media, which was composed mainly of, white men from Ivy Leagues who felt that Jack was one of them and they wanted Jack to love them, and they were so swept up by his star power and charisma. They were all complicit in it. They were all complicit. And the other part of that line in the New York Mag piece that I love is the family has always stood for something other than itself. Really? Well, I believe Reese Wiedemann is the author of that piece. Reese, I think you meant to tell us what, and in fact, Ben Bradley.
As I say, I put some links there where I actually agree with Maureen Callahan, because she's the same. She's I'm pretty sure she's Long Island. I forget, but she, that whole New York, Martha's Vineyard, all of that East Coast. This is where, if we want to get into American history, and I do have to finish, this was the rise of the robber barons and 1880s, and we reproduced the same thing. This is what I keep on going into with, why I keep on pulling out Marianne Sieghart. Go on to Ancestry.com and the trees that I've done, and her family. This is her great grandfather in Vienna. Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is your territory and stuff. So this was the crash of 29. He was the Andrew Mellon, on the other side of the pond. Crash of 29. We get into the rise to power of, well, World War One, and then the rise to power of, World War Two, and everything that came, everything that came with it. So it's history repeating itself. So when everybody, don't call me a fascist, don't call me a Nazi, the shoe fits, wear it, and it's on both sides. Okay, so have a nice day.